Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's BWildcat2 here, back today with, I guess, the first official video in the SMU Dynasty. If you watched my little hashtag the rebirth, hashtag Wildcat is back video from a few days ago, I kind of hinted towards it. I showed you how the conferences and all that were set up. So now I'm just going to show you the little recruiting board and everything. And I've basically, for the first part, I focused on the team needs. And then I went and looked at the best possible, the most interested players per position and based on their interests. So I think I got about 25 recruits or so, and you'll see them here. I mean, I didn't want this to be a whole 20-minute video, so I sped it up a bit. I think it's about half as fast, so excuse me, we will show you what's going on. We need some punters, we need a kicker, and I think we need some outside linebackers or middle linebackers, yeah. We needed some middle linebackers for next year. So that was our necessary required. Now we're going to take a look at all these players that are interested in us and based on their interest levels and try to get some of them. So anyway, I guess I'll just talk to you guys a little bit about the preseason and everything like that. With the way I set up the schedule, and you'll see that here later on in the video, as we're going to go in and scout some of these players to fully get their ratings before the season starts. With the way I set up the schedule, with all the conference realignment that I did to recreate the Southwest Conference, the only non-conference game that I was actually able to get that SMU plays in real life is their battle with North Texas, and that's coming up in week 2. They actually have a little rivalry going since both schools are in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. They call it the Safeway Bowl, and I mean, I'll tell you more about that in the next video. But anyway, with the way the whole realignment has gone, now we're getting into the redshirt players here, and if you're really paying attention, you can see who we redshirt. A quarterback there, no halfback, fullback, no. With redshirt 2 receivers, it looks like. Anyway, the way the conferences are set up now with the with everything, how I shifted it all to be the Southwest Conference, how SMU's real schedule is going to be in 2014 is that they have their battle with North Texas, and then they have I think they have the TCU game, an A&M game, and the Arkansas game, which are all 3 conference opponents. So it's going to be a little bit different than how it is in real life. And by the way, we're going to go with Connor Preston because he's got a higher overall speed than Neil Burcham and a higher overall rating. Plus, Burcham is a sophomore and Preston is a junior, so I trust the age a little bit more, at least starting out. And since Burcham was originally the starter, if Preston ever gets if he's having a bad day, we can put Burcham in and try to get him some reps and try to see if he can do any better than Preston did. Jesus Christ, trucker, you want to make any louder noises while I'm trying to frickin' record a commentary? Good Lord, like you're intentionally doing it. Anyway, so like I said, I don't want to do any kind of these BS videos where it's like I'm just talking over footage, but sometimes you absolutely have to introduce some things. So you'll have a couple more of these when I introduce some more series. But alright, that's the depth chart if you were paying attention. Now we're going to go into the scheduling part, and I think that's going to take up most of the rest of the video. Plus, we're going to do some scouting for week 1 because week 1 happens to be a bye week, the way our schedule's set up with conference in the middle of our non-conference schedule and our non-conference where our conference should be. Anyway, we'll take a look here as we got Arkansas, A&M, and TCU, all 3 games right after our first non-conference game, which will be at North Texas, the Safeway Bowl. That will be a good one. And that should be probably the highlight of our non-conference, or well, it should be. But since we have Rutgers and FCS West, I don't want to play like those bad teams. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna schedule. Who am I gonna put in there? Let's see. We can go. Yeah, let's do Auburn. Yeah, Auburn at home. Yeah, that'd be good. And Oklahoma, two games against top 5 teams at home. and then Connecticut, we're going to replace that with we're going to play at Notre Dame, because that used to be a game back in the 90s, or back in the late 80s and 90s. SMU actually played Notre Dame on the road. So there's our schedule. It looks like North Texas. I was looking into some neutral site games, and then I thought, you know what, we're just going to do the home and home like it is in real life. So it's going to be SMU starts off the year at North Texas. They come home, they play, then they go to Arkansas, come home for Texas A&M, go to TCU, home against Oklahoma and Auburn, 2 bye weeks, then at Notre Dame, home against Baylor, at Texas, versus Texas Tech and Houston, and then at Rice to finish off the year. So, all right, that'll get us to the regular season, and then we'll, while we wait for it to advance, we will get into week 1 recruiting, since week 1 happens to be a bye week. We'll do that, and then, like I said, I think this is going to be, I was talking with my friend Send With Vengeance, shout out to the man himself. I was talking to him on Skype about our schedule and how I think our season could go, and I've already played game number 1, and that should be coming out pretty soon, hopefully for you guys. I just have to edit it down and put all my nifty fancy touches to it to make it look nice and make it actually look like how I want it to look instead of how I usually rush them to look. So I'm going to use my artist stroke on this next video to make it appear as though I'm actually focusing on quality instead of quantity. Anyway, I told him, I said, I think this team is good enough to get to a bowl game. I'm not thinking national title or BCS game yet. I just think that we can probably be a 6, 7, 8, 9 win team. I mean, 9 and 8 would probably be a high number with the strength of schedule we have. But I think if we get 6 or 7 wins with our strength of schedule the way it was, I think we will have a better chance of getting a bowl game than someone who starts off at 2 and 6 and plays in the Sun Belt and finishes off at 6 and 6 to get to a bowl game. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on how we're gonna fare. I think this team is very talented. We got some. I think we got 2 players that are in the 90s and a lot of upper-rated 80s players. So our team is talented, and I think we can do well enough. But I'm not thinking big picture like this season we're gonna get to the national championship. I don't know how the sliders, if I should do some sliders. I haven't fully figured that out yet. I played 1 game, and obviously, like I said, I'll keep tweaking them, or I mean I can tweak them to get them how I want them to be before the next game. But game number 1, which is week number 2 and episode number 2, should be coming out pretty soon after this one. I'm not guaranteeing the same day delivery for both of these episodes, but hopefully at least we can get it to be the same week, or at least only a couple of days afterwards. Just going to try to put as much time and effort as I can into these videos to make them the best that I want them. As you see, we're just putting points into my what I guess who I rank the highest on my board, putting points in them and trying to get them to come on and join the Mustangs and pony up with us. So yeah, guys, I guess that is pretty much all I have to talk about today. The video still got about a minute left, and it's just going to be showing recruiting. But I want to thank you guys for watching, and like I said, sticking around to the actual time that I did decide to come back. I did come back on the Return of Wildcat about maybe December last year. Only posted a few videos, but I kept getting people telling me to go back to the original channel, so I let up and eventually did. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully, I want to thank you all for staying subscribed. 800 now strong on the B Wildcat 2 channel, and I hope you are enjoying what has come out so far and what will be continue to be bringing out. Come back next week for the Safeway Bowl in week 2 at UNT, the North Texas Mean Green. Should be a good game. It's always fun to play rivalry games. So I'm B Wildcat 2. I'm signing off, and I hope you will come back for the next one. Peace, guys.